Welcome to the PMD Pro 1 preparation program. This module will look at project programs and portfolios, the definition of each of these levels of management, the relationship between them, and the differences between them. Within the development sector, the terms project programs and portfolios are used very frequently. However, the definitions of these terms are seldom rigorously defined, and at times the terms are used interchangeably. Without a rigorous definition, the project managers often are unclear as to what their responsibilities are at each level of management of projects, programs, and portfolios. We'll address this by starting to define each of these terms and looking at the role of project manager in the managing each of them. So let's start with project management. As defined in an earlier module, project management is the discipline of planning, organizing, and managing resources to bring about successful delivery of project goals, outcomes, and outputs. All of this is completed within the context of delivering project goals, outcomes, and outputs on time, on scope, and within the cost allocated and according to the parameters of quality agreed on for the project. So if that is what project management is, and if the role of project manager is to deliver the project successfully, what is then the program? Well, program management is a process of managing a group of related projects in a coordinated way so as to obtain benefits and control not available from managing these projects individually. One way to describe this is if you have two projects and they're managed together, the result would be 1 + 1 = 3, where their combined impact would be greater because they are managed together. So if you're looking at an organizational chart of projects, it might resemble something like the following, where several projects combine to work together in a single program, and that program can coordinate with another project to contribute to another upper level program. Now, when working on coordinating projects together through a program, there are several coordination areas that can guide the identification of projects that work together. Some of those include geographic area. If you have multiple projects working in a district or in a region or a single country, it might make sense to manage them together. Similarly, sometimes sector intervention areas become the basis of a program, where a health program might be benefited by aligning with a water and sanitation, or with an agriculture, or perhaps an education program. Similarly, objectives might be similar. For example, if the intent is to lower infant mortality, it would make sense that there would be not only effort to improve the health of a program, of a community, but also to increase the income through, let's say, a microfinance program. Similarly, funding might be the basis of a program where multiple projects managed by a single donor are grouped together and managed through a single control. Or the target populations or management systems could be aligned. What should be kept in mind in program management is that the responsibility of program management is not necessarily the project manager. And often this is, in fact, the responsibility of someone else who is working in centralized management, whose responsibility is to coordinate activities. Now, moving from program management and up the ladder to portfolio management, what you find there is the projects and the programs can combine and move up the ladder to a portfolio for an organization. And portfolio management oversees the performance of the entire organizational collection of projects and programs. And this is not done normally by a project manager. It is usually by an executive or a very high-level person in a region. And they're looking at investment decisions. What do we do? What don't we do? How do we make our decisions on where we invest? Now, as you look at the competency model we discussed earlier, there are technical, personal, and interpersonal and leadership competencies required at each of these levels. The important thing is to recognize that as the risk, value, and complexity increases from project to program portfolio, these skills must increase as well, forming the pyramid you see in this picture.